Hello, I'm Laura Painter. You're watching ABC10 Plus tonight. A man is dead, shot by Mantika police after allegedly ramming cars at an In-N-Out parking lot. The new details in the investigation. Then we hit the back roads. John Bartel takes us to the Humboldt coast to explore the unique ecosystem thriving in the coastal dunes. ABC10 Plus tonight starts right now. New information tonight on a story we've been following since yesterday.
Yeah, a man who was shot by 5 police officers in a busy parking lot in San Joaquin County has died.
ABC 10's Gabriel Porras has the story from Mantika.
That man has been identified as 69-year-old Charles McGonigal of Mantika. The police department and district attorney's office are still conducting their own investigations into the deadly shooting. But tonight we are learning new information about how a trip to In-N-Out ended with a deadly confrontation with police. By daylight Thursday, there was not much left of the scene in this parking lot off Yosemite Avenue in Mantika, just skid marks where police say McGonigal's car rammed into patrol cruisers. Normal business has returned to the In-N-Out, and so has Diego Usme.
Y es de mucho terror.
He witnessed it all just before 5 p.m. Wednesday.
Está el señor después de estar en el drive-thru.
He says In-N-Out refused to take McGonigal's drive-thru order, and he got aggressive. Police say workers refused to serve him when they saw a beer can in McGonigal's car after he crashed into another customer.
Y comienza a chocar los carros de las demás personas.
Usme says the suspect hit at least 2 others, including the first Mantika police officer to show up.
Several officers showed up, and there was a standoff where they did a great job trying to negotiate. They had a drone up. He was not cooperating, was not listening. They tried to de-escalate the situation.
But after nearly 20 minutes, McGonigal drove towards them again, and 5 officers opened fire.
It was his decision that chose to put the officers in this situation.
The deadly shooting captured on camera. We paused the video right before more than 20 shots ring out.
What the officers are trained to do, fire until the threat stops.
Yo pienso que la policía tuvo como un buen accionar.
Usme wishes it all ended peacefully, but believes police took the right action. Now it'll be up to a team of investigators to decide.
They were forced to take action to prevent them from being harmed and any of the observers from being harmed.
In Mantika, Gabriel Porras, ABC 10.
Now, the officers involved in the shooting have been placed on a 3-day leave before being interviewed by investigators.
Well, it was a tense day at the Capitol amongst California lawmakers on the Assembly floor as they argued about amendments to a bill addressing child sex trafficking. This week, AB 379, introduced by Democrat Assembly member Maggie Krell, passed the Assembly Public Safety Committee, but with amendments. The amendments removed portions of the bill addressing soliciting sex from a minor between the ages of 16 and 17. Assembly Republicans fought back this morning by asking for that portion to be put back into the bill.
And it takes away the ability of prosecutors to actually prosecute and punish individuals who purchase 16 and 17-year-olds. That, at the end of the day, is the plain English legal standing of what you're about to do.
Democrats reiterated that it is a felony if an adult contacts a minor to pay for sex, and that Republicans are just playing politics. The amendments to the bill also remove Krell as the author, replaced by Democrat Assembly members Stephanie Nguyen and Nick Schultz, who say the goal of this bill with its amendments is to protect vulnerable children.
If you do not vote for this today, where you said that you cared about 16 and 17-year-olds was a lie, that you don't care, because these amendments include the 16 and 17-year-olds that you raised your mic and you talked so much about.
Ultimately, the amendments to the bill passed 55-21, with the bill's original author, Assemblymember Krell, voting no. This bill now moves to the Appropriations Committee. All right, California's ban on the sale of new gas-powered vehicles by 2035 just hit a red light. The House of Representatives voted today to undo a waiver from the EPA that helped pave the way for the ban. ABC10's Becca Hodbegger is in studio to drive this home for us. And Becca, I feel like we just talked about this not too long ago, actually.
Yeah, you know, Alex, I stood right here in this studio back in December reporting on 2 waivers newly granted by the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency that would allow the California Air Resources Board to move forward with that statewide ban. Now, at the time, Republican Congressman Kevin Kiley vowed to fight it, and fight he did. In September of 2020, Governor Gavin Newsom signed an executive order establishing a goal that 100% of in-state sales of new passenger cars and trucks will be zero emission by 2035, and all medium and heavy-duty vehicles in the state be zero emission by 2045.
We will be the first jurisdiction in the world to require all new cars to be sold to be alternative fuel cars.
The goal was to fight climate change, reduce pollutants that lead to smog and damage people's health, and reduce the state's dependence on fossil fuels in favor of clean, renewable fuels.
I don't think that's an appropriate policy.
Critics, including Republican U.S. Representative Kevin Kiley of Rockland, have opposed the ban this whole time.
I don't think it's the right thing for the government to do, to order millions of Californians what car they should drive. I think it should be up to individuals to drive the car of their choice.
But in order to enact this ban, California would need to impose standards that are stricter than what federal regulations allow. In 2023, the EPA granted California a waiver, followed by 2 more last December. In response, Kiley posted on X, "We will promptly reverse Newsom's insane mandate in the new year." And that's just what he worked to do.
Today's action really just restores common sense and says that you should be able to drive the car of your choice, and it passed with bipartisan support.
Kiley spoke with ABC10 on Thursday, the day a majority of U.S. representatives, 200 Republicans and 35 Democrats, voted to withdraw one of those waivers. The day before, the House had already voted to withdraw the other 2. Kiley is among the representatives who introduced the resolutions that, using something called the Congressional Review Act, would withdraw the waivers, though they still need the approval of the Senate.
I believe it'll pass in the Senate.
In response to the votes, Governor Newsom said, in part, Trump Republicans are hell-bent on making California smoggy again. Clean air didn't used to be political. Our vehicles program helps clean the air for all Californians and will continue defending it. He and State Attorney General Rob Bonta pointed out both the nonpartisan U.S. Government Accountability Office and Senate parliamentarian have said the Congressional Review Act does not apply to these waivers. Bonta said, in part, not only would the misuse of the CRA undermine the integrity of our democratic process, but it would also be unlawful, adding his office is monitoring the situation closely, including what happens next in the Senate. I asked the offices of Governor Newsom and Attorney General Bonta for interviews today. They were not available to speak with me.
Well, May marks Asian American and Native Hawaiian Pacific Islander Month. Tonight, we are focused on Vietnam. The Vietnam War spanned more than 19 years, claiming the lives of over 3 million people. And it became one of the longest, most costly, and controversial conflicts in U.S. history. But it's what came after that would reshape an entire generation. Tonight, I want to introduce you to Jackie Nguyen, who was just 3 when her family fled with nothing but hope and each other in a desperate pursuit of freedom.
What my parents shared with me, life then was very simple but thriving.
Life was just beginning for Harry and Tammy Nguyen. They married in 1970 and would go on to have 2 children and dreams for the future. But the Vietnam War would threaten those dreams.
Clashes with North Vietnamese regulars in the central coastal plain near Bong Son.
The Vietnam War had been raging since 1955. The communist North Vietnam government was at war with South Vietnam. The U.S. joined the fight to support South Vietnam, but in 1973, American troops pulled out. Just 2 years later, communist forces captured the South's capital, Saigon, an event that marked the end of the war and would come to be known as the Fall of Saigon.
When we left Vietnam, right before the fall of Saigon, my father was in the military, and so he knew that his life was going to be precarious if he didn't leave. He was helping out the South Vietnamese. My parents, in the darkness of the night, left. They were the boat refugee people. They left with the clothes on their back. We didn't have anything.
At just 3 years old, Jackie and her family made a life or death decision to escape their homeland by sea. Clinging to the hope of a better future for their children, they decided to head to Guam.
When we got on the boat, we were sandwiched together like sardines. My mom would always tell me, you can't really breathe. The risks were enormous because had we not been successful in leaving, we probably would have been captured and put in re-education camps and not have the life that we have here. Maybe not even be alive.
The fall of Saigon ended the war, but sparked one of the longest and largest refugee crises in history. Thousands died fleeing by sea, while the lucky escaped to camps in Guam, Thailand, and the Philippines. Over 1 million would start new lives in America.
People like my parents and myself, since we were part of that first wave of Vietnamese refugees who came here to the United States and settled here in California.
Jackie and her family becoming part of the 50,000 refugees housed at Camp Pendleton in San Diego, California. But the Wins needed an American family to sponsor them.
The McManus family live in South San Diego, and they adopted us, just giving us that second chance in life. We call them grandparents.
The Wins' long-held dream of building a new life in America had finally come true. But different didn't mean easy.
We didn't speak English very well, so that was the social challenge. The economic challenge, my parents didn't have college degrees. My dad worked 3 different jobs. My mother works odd and end jobs, babysitting the neighbors' kids, collecting cans in the morning.
Her family's journey would come to define her not just as a survivor, but as a leader.
They would say, we don't care what you study in college, but you make sure you go to college, because that is going to be your foundation to get out of poverty, to make something of yourself.
Jackie would go on to study journalism and graduate from San Diego State University. Jackie Wynn on the scene. Good morning.
Good morning, Lisa, and good morning, everyone.
I've always thought being Asian American, you always have to go into the medical field, engineering, doctor. The field of journalism back then, for me, I didn't think it was an option. I didn't know I wanted to be a journalist until my dad basically told me, he's like, you know, you should go into journalism.
In 2015, Jackie became the press secretary for the California Senate Republican Caucus.
Who would have thought that you would ever have this opportunity to work for the legislature and to be part of the process to help others out there, whether they're citizens, immigrants, underrepresented, or marginalized communities. In this position I'm in, we have an opportunity to help.
She serves on several boards and recently became a trustee for Solano Community College in 2024.
Thank you to Supervisor Mashburn for being here to swear me in.
The first Asian American to hold the title.
I put up my right hand. In my mind at that time, I was like, Dad, I really wish you were here to witness this in person, to see me. But I know you're up there guiding me.
In 2019,
I remember getting the call.
Harry Wynn passed away.
My dad has always been my hero. I didn't realize that until he passed away. My whole world turned, because my dad was the one who's always gave me the suggestions and ideas to be where I'm at today.
He carried her to safety as they escaped Vietnam and through every step of life after.
I just wish that my father was still alive today to see everything that's for me at this point in my life. My brother is a pharmacist. My sister is in sales engineering.
Living the very dream her parents once risked everything to give her.
I think it's important for generations now to understand how much of an impact that time period made, not just only in America's history, but for Vietnam's history as well. I will always be Vietnamese American. That's first and foremost, Jackie Wynn, Vietnamese American. I'm an immigrant. I'm a woman. I'm somebody who thought that I would never have an opportunity for the opportunities that I've been given in life. And so when you see opportunities out there, seize them.
But that spring roller coaster is now in effect, huh?
Oh my gosh, we've been up and down, and like we've been saying, you know, if you don't like the weather, just in a few days it'll change.
I know, and we're not going to be able to see that in too much longer, right? It's going to be 100 straight through, or at least upper 90s. But for now, we still have that variety in our weather forecast. As we get right to it, we're still tracking a few of those isolated showers in Southern California. Locally, it's been mostly sunny, though. We're watching this weather feature off the coast. This is what's going to bring us that change in our weather pattern. So the weekend outlook, as you can see, is going to be cooler. We already drop into the 70s for tomorrow. Low 70s on Saturday. Slight chance for a few of us seeing those light showers. Winds will start to pick up late in the day on Sunday, and it does lead us to a rather breezy start to the next work week. Our average high 77 degrees, and we're going to be flirting right about at average, if not slightly below it. Speaking of below, look at the water year so far. We're below average for Sacramento Executive. We're over 3 inches behind where we should be at this point. Stockton over 1.5 inches behind normal, and then Modesto over 2.5 inches below where we should be for our water year. And it doesn't look like what we're going to get this weekend is going to provide us with that much. Now, our average last rainy day is just around the corner, May 16th. That's when we usually see the last day we have at least 1/10 of an inch of precipitation. But all signs are pointing to not anything coming our way over the weekend and for the coming week as well. Highs for today warming into the 80s to right around 90. Oroville at 91 degrees. That's going to be our warm spot. Fairfield already with that touch of that onshore flow dropping to 78. 70s in the foothills and 60s up top for the Sierra. Right now, we've got readings in the 80s. We're holding fairly steady, a little bit cooler than yesterday, though. Sunny skies for Sacramento at 81 degrees. Stockton, Modesto, both with sunny skies and 84. Marysville at 87 with sunshine, and then Tahoe still sunny and 62. That sunset at 7:58. We are just around the corner from seeing that sunset at 8 p.m. That happens on Saturday. Hourly weather, mostly clear skies take us through tonight. Our morning lows start us off right around 50. Afternoon highs climbing into the 70s. At noontime, we'll be at 70 degrees. Now, the other little interesting part with that southwest wind that's already picked up for today, we're going to pull in some of that low cloudiness for tomorrow morning. You can see how that will be draped right through the I-80 line and then through parts of the Sacramento Valley. For the Sierra, we'll once again see the appearance of those isolated thunderstorms, but it's not until Saturday that we start to see more widespread action for the Sierra, certainly. Not a whole lot of rain for the Valley, like I'm saying. We're barely going to be able to put anything in the bucket for rain totals, but we will see more cloud cover, cooler temperatures, and the appearance of some rain mixed with snow for the higher elevations. Getting on to those winds. So late in the day on Sunday is when we start to see those winds pick up, but it really ramps up here to start us off for the next work week. So just be aware we are looking at some windy conditions by the time we get to next Monday. In the meantime, a look at that extended forecast. We have those temperatures dropping on Saturday, and then we're right back up into the 80s, breezy on Monday. And then, of course, we've got Mother's Day on the last day. You have been warned.
Don't say Monica didn't remind you.
Yes.
And beautiful conditions, it looks like. Huh?
It looks like it, yeah.
Oh, we're loving it. Can't
I
complain.
know.
Monica, thank you.
The nomads of the Sahara Desert may spend days climbing over dunes to find an oasis. I, on the other hand, have it much easier.
Nah, we're not in the Sahara. John Bartel here, making a little pit stop at the Friends of the Dunes in Manila.
Protecting the city of Eureka and Arcata from the waves of the Pacific Ocean is a long line of wind-beaten sand dunes. At the peaks of those dunes, it appears to be a wasteland. But at the bottom of those dunes,
This is an oasis in here in these sand dunes.
Yeah, so this is a little dune hollow. This is where we're going to see a lot of the forest species.
Daisy Perez is with the conservation group Friends of the Dunes, and the forest she's talking about is home to the crooked-looking Pinus contorta contorta, also known as beach pine.
Contorta? Like contortion, huh?
Contorted, yep, and we can see they grow because of the wind. It just blasts them.
Plants and animals in this unique ecosystem have a symbiotic relationship with the wind. The wind creates the dunes, and the dunes create shelter from the wind so plants can grow. But that symbiotic relationship is being threatened by an invasive species.
This is European beach grass.
So this is not American grass.
No.
We don't want this grass.
So we don't want this grass here.
European beach grass not only kills other plants, but it prevents wind from moving sand and making properly shaped dunes.
Right here, we're in the middle of a big restoration project. So we're trying to restore over 115 acres.
For more than 40 years, Friends of the Dunes have been protecting the dune ecosystem. They created the Humboldt Coast Nature Center to educate people about life in the dunes, and they maintain trails so hikers can explore.
We like to call this the gateway to the dunes.
From a distance, the coastal dunes may look like a desert, but up close, they're a remarkable refuge for plants, animals, and people to enjoy.
From the Friends of the Dunes in Manila, I'm John Bartel. Hope to see you on the back roads. Where am I?
So in 1 week, an action film created by a Sacramento filmmaker will hit theaters all across the country.
And when I heard Marcus Allen talk about Kerry Washington, I got really excited. Big fan. We are talking about Shadow Force. ABC 10's Marcus Allen is here now with more on why it's what to watch.
Kerry Washington's such a cool person. I have this big thing. I tell everybody I believe that the universe brings kind people to kind people. And everybody you're about to hear from now, kind people. And they made a great movie. I'm biased because Joe Carnahan, the director, used to be one of my segment editors. How far he's come since cutting together my Jim Denny's package. But this movie, Shadow Force, shot entirely in Colombia, is gorgeous, action-packed. They don't make them like this anymore. I sat down with Kerry and Omar, her co-star, to talk about my buddy Joe, too. Take a listen. I'm biased, but I'll tell you, this movie is awesome.
Oh, I'm so happy you feel that way. I mean, lucky you that you've been friends with him for so long, because he is such a character. He is larger than life. And I'm so grateful that he was able to bring his action movie love and expertise to this project, because it is as exciting as it is because of Joe.
Among my favorite sounds on the planet are that of Joe Carnahan's laughter. If you can ever get him laughing, it is the best. For each of you, talk about the extraordinary difference that Joe brought. You've worked with amazing directors. How is this guy different?
You said that's that energy that Joe has. He's so excited for everything he does. And Kerry just said he's larger than life. So even his excitement, his enthusiasm is big and loud. And when you do a movie like that, that's what you need.
So true, and it pays off. Again, I'm biased, but you're going to love this movie. It opens in a week. A couple things of note. Kerry Washington. Thank you, Jordan, for the tip. Confirmed she is bringing Desperate Housewives back. Wisteria Lane is going to be that spinoff. We'll talk about that down the road. And Joe Carnahan's currently working with Matt Damon, one of the pillars of Sacramento filmmakers. I'm also going to throw this out here. Somebody write this down. Ryan Coogler is going to win the Academy Award this year for Sinners. It's also what to watch. I said a lot, Walt. Back to you.
So your relationship with Carnahan goes back how many years now?
Over 30 years. Long before television, he used to drop by. I did voiceovers for promos that he was doing. In a way, he's the guy that kind of got me that gig that I did over there, doing the thing at the deal before here.
And your reference to Jim Denny's is the old burger place downtown.
Yeah, the last thing Joe cut for me was a Jim Denny's. I went there for an eating competition. He's the guy that edited it all together.
You've been a lot of places with eating competitions, sometimes where there wasn't even any readily available food.
With me, all roads lead back to a free meal, Walt.
They do. I know so well. I've been there too. Okay, Marcus Allen, thank you.
We know that in news, stories are filled with challenges and hardships, but incredible things are happening each and every day. And each week, our segment, Champions of Hope, we're sharing stories of people who are making a difference. Tonight, meet high school runners who are going the extra mile to give back.
What started as a small idea between 5 freshman runners,
we all wanted to be able to give back to our community as well,
turned into a big community impact. Vista Del Lago High School freshmen Jack Armstrong, Asher Chang, Rocco Drewers, Mino Kim, and Landon Simpson co-founded Lace Up for Learning, a charity run hosted in Folsom that raises money to give back to underserved communities.
We just saw that there was something that we could do.
A way to give back in a way that through what we love.
Around 100 runners signed up for their first event last year, raising over $12,000. Serving over 2,000 students in the area, Lace Up for Learning purchased scientific calculators, books, first aid supplies, a new projector, and food for different schools.
The community's connected through this.
Their event this year raised over $18,000. And from what these runners tell us, this is just the beginning.
Not only do I get to do something with my friends that I love to do, doing it helps a good cause.
We all extremely appreciate our community for supporting us, and we can't wait to have a great turnout in the following years to come.
And don't forget to let us know when that next race is.
Thank you so much for watching ABC 10 Plus tonight. We're here 24/7 on the free ABC 10 Plus TV streaming app. You can get your local news and weather anytime, anywhere. I'm Laura Painter. Take care. We'll see you next time.
Thanks for watching ABC 10 Plus. And now that you're here, why don't we take a look around and see what else is here? The very first tile on your left is always going to be streaming 24/7. You can find us adjacent to that, breaking news if it's there, and then right next to that, a replay of the most recent newscast. Whether it's ABC10 Morning News at 5, 6, or beyond, it's going to be there. The forecast beyond that, and then right beyond that, the news that matters the most. Now that you know the basic tiles, let's go up to the top and take a deeper dive into news. We have every single newscast that you would need, including To the Point with Alex Bell, taking a deeper dive into the issues. Beyond that, ABC10 Morning News at 5 and 6 and 11, the evening shows as well. Below that, you can watch the top stories from To the Point. Under that, Dollars and Cents, where you can learn how to navigate this challenging economy. And below that, you can watch our award-winning ABC10 Special Investigations, where we hold the powerful accountable. Going into weather, look, it's the 10-day forecast, getting you ready for the weekend and beyond. Beyond that, sports. I know you care about the Sacramento Kings. We have the most comprehensive guide to anything, everything Kings in the locker room and on the court. We have it. Below that, I know you care about the San Francisco 49ers. Backing out again, come up to the top and join me on Verify. I'm super excited about this. Our experts are checking the facts, verifying the truth for you. Jump up now to shows. Very excited about this. Oh, look. It's Take a Look. This is my show. I love movies, and if you love movies or streaming shows, whether it's on screens this big, or this big, it's Take a Look. Recently went behind the scenes, sat down with Lady Gaga and Joaquin Phoenix to talk about Joker 2. I love the movie, and oh, I just heard you shout you hate the movie. Jump in, we talk about it on this show. Other shows, Bartell's Backroads, go up and down the state of California, tank of gas getaways, one fuel cell getaway, like places like the Toy Museum. This is what kids did before they had screens. Over here, the Moaning Caverns of Calaveras County, one of the most coveted caves in all of California. You know, watching this show, I discovered there's a cave that could fit the entire Statue of Liberty in your own backyard. You'll find about that and more with Bartell's Backroads. Down below that, To the Point. It is one of my favorite newscasts because they talk about news with Alex Bell the way you talk about news. It's conversational, but in-depth at the same time. Below that, Your California Life. Love this show. Whether it's entertainment, food, beverage, lifestyle, it's there. Desiree Shepherd hosts and does an amazing job. So there you have it. It's ABC10 Plus, the app. What do you need? We heard you and we got it. Thanks for watching. Thanks for streaming. Our free ABC10 Plus TV streaming app has so much to offer. Get your news live and on demand 24/7 so you can watch the news when you want. There's breaking news, extended forecast, and so much more. We have everything you need to get through your day and ready for the weekend. We've got you covered on money-saving tips, travel, entertainment, and sports. Download the free ABC10 Plus app on your smart TV and popular streaming devices like Roku, Amazon Fire TV, and more. ABC10. We stand for you 24/7.
The ABC10 Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust on your time. Track how the weather will impact your day.
We're planning for those changes.
Stay fire ready. Extended, continuous coverage of breaking news live from the scene.
It very much is an active investigation.
Go deeper with in-depth interviews and exclusive reporting. All the local news you need, live or on demand. ABC10 Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free.